The best of the Morning X. 99X.
You know one thing, Crash?
What's that, Barnes?
These female athletes are always tardy.
Oh, was she,
Yeah.
No, Cindy Parlow was on time. When
Was she
was
on
there.
time?
Yes, she was. She was right on time.
Don't start with
And
that.
if we're going to base this girl, Indy Racer's track schedule on speed, she's not even in the room yet.
I mean, what's the irony?
Here she
here she is.
Speed's not a problem. She got caught up in traffic.
Yeah, go. Indy Racer caught up in traffic? What kind of excuse is that?
Right, nobody wants to hear that.
Not from an Indy Racer.
Is that what you say if you come in second? I was caught in traffic?
I wasn't driving.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Sarah Fisher.
Doing good,
Sarah
thank you.
Fisher, the world's only female IndyCar driver.
How old are you? You look so young.
20.
You're 20?
Really?
Yeah, I'm 20.
You've only had your license for 4 years.
I know.
Get right up on that mic,
get
Sarah.
right in
up
there,
close
Sarah.
to that
All
thing.
right, I'm
just,
sorry.
Just like it's the pedal. Put it to the metal.
All right.
We were talking earlier about, every sport pretty much has a woman's equivalent. You know, they've got the NBA and then they got the WNBA. They got football, they got women's league football. Soccer, hockey, there's always one. There is no women's league in professional racing, right?
No, not really. Not that go at the same speeds that we do or have the same technology.
I mean, you truly are competing exactly at the same level, same sport as the men. Even in women's golf, the tees are closer, are farther up.
Oh, no. It's just as difficult as the
right.
men.
You've got to drive the same distance.
How long have you been on the circuit racing?
I've been in the Indy Racing League. This is my second year, but I've been racing for a total of 15 years.
What's your highest finish since being in this Indy Racing League?
Second, Homestead Speedway 2 weeks ago.
How could you be racing for 15 years? You're only 20 years old.
I started really young.
Did you really? Was your family
Yeah.
family into that? Did you have a dad that was a driver?
You got it. Actually, Mom and Dad both drove.
Did they really?
Yeah.
So you got behind the wheel when you were 5, or?
Yeah.
Wow. Shouldn't, Mom be doing something like driving carpool instead of racing?
Well, she did. She just did it really fast.
That's a joke. Okay, that's...
So you came in second. How close was it?
It was really close. In fact, I was catching Sam Hornish, who won the race. I was catching him really quick, and it actually led the race, and then just got caught behind in some lap traffic. And
What'd they do with the men that are losing to a woman? Because those guys have big egos.
Those guys have big egos, don't they?
Well, actually, I passed Eliseo Salazar with, 12 laps to go, and A.J. Foyt comes over the radio, I guess, and says, you just got passed by a girl. So it's great.
Now, what are your colors? What are your team's colors?
Blue and white, number 15.
Okay, so it's not like pink. And,
No, absolutely
It's
not.
not like
No.
that. It's not like Pinky Tuscadero here.
No, unless some huge sponsor comes along and says, hey, paint it purple, hey, anytime.
Now, for all the young girls listening right now that might want to get into this sport of what you do, what kind of money can you make, per race?
Good.
You can make
good
decent money?
Yeah, it's not something where you're scrimping and saving and trying to get by every race.
Is the big money 1, 2, 3, or does it trickle on down from there?
It trickles on down from there.
I mean, does it significant drop from third to fourth, or does it stay pretty high?
It's a pretty good drop, but the longer that you're on the series and the more races you run, the more that they pay you off, because they want you to be in this series, and so they're going to reward you for that.
A Driven opens tomorrow. You any urge to go see that?
Absolutely,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I'm going to get back to Indianapolis next week because I'm staying here to do some Firestone stuff after the race is over with. But when I get back to Indianapolis next week, my boyfriend and I are going to go see it
That looks
together.
very good.
No, I mean, just because she's
The
a race
trailer
car
alone.
driver doesn't mean she doesn't know that Kip Pardue is a hunka. So is it? Let me ask you, because you're going how fast?
220 miles an hour.
220 miles an hour. That has got to be very dangerous to go 220 miles an hour and try to put on makeup at the same time.
Well, I
in the
don't wear
mirror.
makeup in the race car, so it makes it really simple.
Oh, you don't do the whole thing with
Not inside the race car,
with
no.
the rearview mirror.
Jimmy,
No.
you're never,
Okay.
ever going to get a date.
No.
Ever. Hey, talk a little bit about the race, people that want to come out and watch you.
Well, it starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday, and it's a night race. And these Indy cars, 220 miles an hour looks really fast at night. And Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're going to be close action, packed together. And, they should definitely come out and watch us. If not, turn us on TV.
I wish you were here longer. I could take you out to Andretti's Speed Lab and show you a couple things, Sarah.
Yeah, right.
That would have been fun, actually. That would've
Well, odds are.
what a perfect thing to do, because I'm doing the soccer
Yep.
thing. That would have been great. Talk a little bit, seriously, about how much resistance you got when you were first coming up. I mean,
Had to be tons of
you're
it.
so young, you're a chick, and it's a very male-dominated sport. I mean, did you used to hear did guys call you names and they, kind of trash talk you? What?
No, actually, I've gotten a lot of respect coming up through all the different series that I've been in. And the thing is, they weren't buddy immediately, obviously, but they treated me the same as they did any other rookie. They gave me a fair chance to catch on, and once I caught on, I mean, it's equal treatment.
So why haven't more women tried to get in?
I don't know. I mean, I started so young that it's kind of grown into this level, but I think a lot of the kids nowadays, the parents aren't starting their girls at a young age, and I think it's starting to happen. So I think you're going to see it.
And also, those outfits are so busy.
Who did you look up to when you were a kid? Who was your racing idol?
Dave Blaney. He raced sprint cars. Not a lot of people know who he is, but he's in NASCAR right now, and he's starting to do really well. So,
do you have any urge to do NASCAR stuff, or you just want to stick with the IndyCar thing?
I like the IndyCar thing.
What's the difference? I don't know. I don't know jack about racing.
The difference is stock cars are kind of look more like your street car, and Indy cars have open wheels on them. That's the biggest difference. Plus, we've got a lot of onboard telemetry and a lot of computer input into our race cars, so it makes it a little bit more technically advanced, and we go a lot faster.
You go faster than the
a lot faster
stock cars.
A lot faster.
What's the worst wreck you've ever been in?
I've been in a couple wrecks. They've all been pretty bad.
Have you done an endo?
For your life?
Where you've done an end over end kind of deal?
No, I've never flipped an Indy car. I've flipped over sprint cars and that kind of thing, but never an Indy car, and I don't want to, because when you do that, that's almost endangering your life.
Had you ever met number 3?
Number 3 being
Dale. Had you ever met Dale?
Dale Earnhardt? No,
yeah.
I didn't. I never met Dale Earnhardt. I met Jeff Gordon once, but never Dale Earnhardt. No.
Now, what does your boyfriend do? Is he in the same field?
He's a ballet dancer.
No. He wish he was. No, he's just a normal guy out of Indianapolis, and it's nice because I don't have to go home and talk about racing.
Excellent.
I mean, it is lifeblood in Indianapolis racing, isn't it? It is.
It is. That's the city to be in if you're in racing, at least for IndyCar racing.
What's the biggest you can be? Because you're small. What's the biggest you can be to drive and get in one of those cars?
Well, Tice Carlson, I think, is around 6'2" or 6'3", and he's probably
fits in those
210 pounds, 220 pounds.
The cockpit looks so small.
It is, but they can make it so that just about anyone can fit in it. I mean, they moved my pedal block back 6 inches.
Oh,
Is it really? How hot does it get in that car?
Not very hot. Our engines are behind us in these cars, whereas in NASCAR they're in front, so they get a lot of the heat off the engine in those cars. But we've got a 220-mile-an-hour breeze.
Have you ever had desire to do any other type of racing, like drag racing or anything like that?
No. I've since I was about 12 or 15, I've always dreamed of being here and being in the Indy 500.
Jimmy, you were talking about money. Last year alone, she made $320,000.
Really?
That was prize money.
I'm saying, just
the majority,
prize money.
Yeah, the majority of that goes to, in fact, all of it goes to the race team. Drivers can or cannot get a cut of it, depending on their individual contracts with each of the teams, because we're all independent contractors.
How many people are on your team?
On my team this weekend, I think there's a total of 11 or 12.
And are you, I mean, obviously you're the boss. I mean, they all work for it.
Yeah, right.
Well, she's the driver. Driver's not always really the boss. The money man sometimes is the boss.
So, but when it's your team, so I see it where, like, you pay them, you write their paychecks?
No,
who is the boss?
The boss is Derek Walker. Derek Walker's the boss, and he's actually in Texas right now because they have a kart race out there. And we're the only open wheel team that has a team in both series. So he's not here this weekend.
We're talking with Sarah Fisher, who is the world's only female driver. Why? I don't know. I mean, that's just so odd that it's just open for men and women. You're the only one.
Why do you think that is? Because it is not one of those activities that takes that you have to be stronger than men, or that why is that?
I just think that nobody started at such a young age to grow up into it,
What were you
and nobody's had the skills to do that. I mean, it takes a lot of talent to be able to be in these race cars and to be consistent and to be out there, and nobody's really had that yet.
So you were racing these cars before you had a driver's license?
Not Indy cars, no. I was racing sprint cars.
And you can do that before you even have a driver's license?
You can. Well,
wow.
Not really, but
You have a fake ID?
Sarah, it's nice to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
The best of the Morning X. 99X.